Code here is really quite simple. You'll see the first thing we need to do is include the servo library. After that, we're going to declare a servo. This is the type, and this is what we're going to name the variable, servo. And we're going to set an initial angle value of 10. Then inside the setup function, we're going to attach pin number 8 to the servo so that we can send data to the digital pin number 8. And we're going to write the angle to that, meaning that we're going to set the initial angle of the servo to 10 degrees. Now, if you look down in the loop, you'll see that two things are happening. The first thing is we're going to increase the angle of the servo from 10 to 180. And when you see angle plus plus, that means increase angle by 1. So what this is saying is from 10 to 180, increase by 1 over and over and over. And every time you increase by 1, you write that value over to the servo. That advances the servo by 1 degree, and it waits 15 milliseconds. The whole point of the waiting here is really just for the sake of stability of the code, since we're dealing with hardware. And then after it gets all the way to 80, once it finishes the for loop, it'll essentially flip back over to here, where it flips it back down. So between 180 and 0, continue to decrease the angle by 1, write it to the servo, delay by 15. And it loops through this over and over and over. And that's why you'll see the servo will move forward, and then it'll move backwards, and then it'll move forward, and then backwards. And that's pretty much it. So that is the basic code for using a servo, and using that in conjunction with the hardware setup, you should be able to figure out how to use the SG90 servo motor with an Arduino Uno. So the setup for a servo motor is really quite simple. I have the servo motor, and out of it comes 3 cables. I have the brown, which will be the ground, the red, which will be the 5 volt, and the orange, which will be the one that ends up carrying the signal. And you'll see that down here, I just have them going to 3 pins, okay? Now, the slots are connected in this direction, okay? So what you'll see is that I have now jumper cables, and those are going to extend into the Arduino board. So looking at this board, you'll see that the brown from the servo connects to the purple, which ends up connecting into the ground, which for me was the 3rd slot, the 2nd or the 3rd. The red one from the servo is connected to the red one here, which is connected into the 5 volt, okay? You can see it right there. And the last one is this orange one. That'll carry data from the Arduino board over to the servo, and I'm just going to connect that into digital pin number 8. So watch the servo as I connect this here. Connect it into digital pin number 8. And the servo begins to move. Alright, and that's it.